How's it going, everyone? Dominican Steel here. I'm trying to keep this video as short and sweet as possible and try to get to the point as quick as possible. First of all, resilience stat in Destiny 2 is pathetic. It's terrible. Let's take a look right here at the screenshot. 10 resilience. Tier 10 gives you 13%. In comparison to mobility gives you 40% more. So right here, I was being hit by a boss in the lost sector of the Tangled Shore, and it was just him melee hitting me. So this is tier 10 armor, and as you can see, there's not that much of a difference. He just hit me once with the melee and I was at full health and shields. Now this is tier 10 plus feedback fence that give you an extra, I got it up to ×3 resilience buff, and that is from one melee from the boss. Now in quick comparison here, you're going to take a look and you're going to see the top is the first hit, the second picture under it, that is a screenshot of tier 10 armor, 13% extra armor, shield capacity, and then at the very bottom is the feedback fences, and I stacked up to ×3, and it does work by stacks. This does not work if you don't have any stacks. And so all of this put together, as you can see, well, let's just take a look and regurgitate this information one last time. Tier 10 armor, the entire armor stat is baloney. It is garbage. Destiny 2 has not been anywhere near as good as Destiny 1 in terms of this newly added content, in terms of intellect, resilience, all of these new elements that is supposedly new to the game. It makes absolutely no sense. But that's going to be it from me from that part of the video. If you guys want to continue listening to me ramble on, then go right on ahead. But I'm just going to keep going here because my point has been reached, and I already know everybody needs to know that this is absolutely destroyed. It makes absolutely no sense. Back in Destiny 1, I am also playing as a Titan, obviously. Back in Destiny 1, all of this was regarded to the Titan with the most armor, Hunter second most armor, and Warlock third most armor in the game. And now that it's on armor stats, it is completely ruined. Anyone can have any sort of build that they want, which is alright, yes and no, but it also strikes me as a question where why on earth would I be playing a knight character, the Titan, the aggressive, offensive, and defensive, most defensive character in the game and also the most offensive character in the game? Why would I use this character if I cannot be a tank, when in Destiny 1 you were pretty much able to tank out a lot of damage? And I do believe that it was more than just the shield capacity that was buffed and increased. It was actually the health bar at the end once your shields were depleted also were an overall armor stat, not a shield stat. So I don't understand why they want to call it armor when it's technically shields, because if I'm not mistaken, I didn't get robbed blind naked by the Fallen when I was attacking them just now. Okay, no, I still have my armor on my body, so that makes absolutely no sense that the health bar does not regard as the same stat as resilience, quote unquote, only 13%, when clearly we know for a fact that agility is 40%, 40, and when you max that out at tier 10. Even recovery is super speedy. Recovery is an insane increase, although I think you can only bring that up to maybe 24%. Something even that insignificant is super significant. But the armor stat in reality is so pathetic and garbage. I don't understand why they decided to make it worse than it already was. Why don't they just implement it back into the actual classes and give us the true full customization of a character and putting stats where they should go in an RPG action MMO title like every other one has done, and everybody else liked the system. If it's not broken, don't fix it, Bungie. So honestly, Bungie is just talking out of their ass at this point, and when we go to question them, they're saying, oh, well, we're not worried about that right now. How are you not worried about one of the main mechanics in the entire game? That makes no sense. There's more than just that armor stat as well, because if we look at intellect has always been pretty low, but in this game intellect they did adjust it, so I'm not complaining about that. But resilience is just out of the question, needs to be fixed immediately. Armor has too much RNG to be able to try and get good rolls, a high stat, the right element, and then you need the right amount of stats in the right places, because even if you just get 70, or no, that's not even possible. Let me rephrase that. Even if you were to be able to find the piece of armor that you need at, let's say you got raid armor, which is a good way to get 60 plus armor, 60 overall points into your armor piece, and let's say you have 60 for each and every armor piece, you can put a mod for mobility, intellect, discipline, resilience, recovery. You can put a mod that gives you plus 10. 10 is one tier. So if you were to place a mod of plus 10 on resilience, and you had 0 resilience to begin with on that piece of armor, you're only going up to tier 5. So you have to be able to get the roll that you want perfectly in the element, perfectly aligned with the stats. And why on earth would you try and build yourself a full resilience titan? And you obviously need strength, because titans are about armor and strength. So why on earth would you try to make this when it's not even possible in the game? You don't even have to be lucky to get a tier 10 in strength and tier 10 in resilience, because guess what? It's impossible. It's impossible. Bungie has made it absolutely impossible, and yet to choose one out of the 6 stats implemented into the game to be able to make barely a dent in your resilience, or not barely a dent, wrong choice of words, but barely any significance into your resilience, maxing out, wasting your points on 10 resilience. Unbelievable on Bungie's part. That makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. Who knows what they were thinking when they added this in? And I understand tankiness doesn't always derive from just having high resilience. I understand that health and aggro and just overall armor with a sword blocking, all of this can be interpreted as tanking in any video game, because tanking simply refers to just staying alive for that period of time that you're being damaged. And so I understand that it is possible to be a tank under super specific circumstances where you could be running Syntheseps, Thunder Coil, and Bottom Tree Striker, where you're just punching everything to death just because you are being surrounded. But that is so rare that you are going to be jumping into the danger doing all this. And honestly, feedback fences are also an extremely good way to go if you're trying to be a tank, because obviously what we have seen is that feedback fences give you a ridiculous amount of armor. Now, if we go back and we look at just regenerating health with Bottom Tree Striker or Top Tree Sentinel with the Word of Dawn, you're able to regen health with each melee kill as well, which isn't half bad. And then of course Bottom Tree Sunspots on the Solar Titan, you can also, any of your solar abilities, regen your health. This can be interpreted as tanking, but your health regen is not quick enough with any of these to be able to survive an instant attack directly after your health starts regenning anyway. Unlike Cauterize, when it first came out, which was the Titan ability in Destiny 1, when you get a solar ability kill, even in your Hammer of Soul, you get your health back just instantly, snapping like that, just instant health regen and a portion back as well. Now, I still just cannot believe that Bungie has made this huge mistake and nobody cares or is catching on to it, or they care but they don't have a voice to be able to tell Bungie, oh hey, listen buddy, we all make mistakes. Just because you made one doesn't mean you're bad development studio and you're not bad developers, but you need to figure out a way to actually fix a problem that you have created. Let's not pretend like it's not there, which is what they're doing at the moment. Thank you guys for tuning into the channel, and if you made it this far, thank you guys for searching up the video and even staying 10 minutes towards the end. You guys are true MVPs. Make sure to rate the video, subscribe if you haven't, because I post a lot of Destiny videos and AAA titles, gameplay, and all of the sorts. Peace.
Soldier. These shoulders hold up so much they won't budge. I never fall, the fold up. I'm a soldier. These shoulders hold up so much they won't budge. I never fall, the fold up.